Welcome, welcome. Ooh, Lord, hold on. I need some water. Okay, much better. For now. But okay, so today is what, Tuesday? Yeah, that's crazy. I am so excited to be here today. So, before we get started, you know how I like to do, I like to set an intention. Today's topic is a lust for life keeps us alive. And also, I feel very vibrant in my, I guess this is called a boo boo or moo moo. I don't know what the difference is between boo boo and moo moo, but I think it's a boo boo. And I don't know, I just feel like an African queen in my palace. And you know, it tracks because Alaere means queen in my mom's language in Ijaw. And I don't know, I just feel like I've been bringing that queen energy to life lately. And before we get into the topic for today, I'm going to actually be reading something I wrote titled A Lust for Life Keeps Us Alive. And this is actually a newsletter I sent out to my community back in November 2023. So it's actually funny because I was just thinking about um, actually, you know what? Let me not get too into it before I set the intention and say a little prayer before we, we convene and we commence. Okay, so I'm gonna light some Palo Santo, and I'd say that I want today's intention to be um the ability to I feel like we've done optimism before, but it's kind of like along those lines, the ability to keep going, perseverance, optimism, like just being able to have that inner strength to say, you know what, I believe in myself, I believe in what I'm doing, I believe in my capabilities, and I can move forward. And so I just pray that, with everything that's happening in the world, all of the challenges that we may be facing individually and as a collective, I just pray that God will be able to give us the fortitude to keep moving forward and to have a zeal for life because we're so blessed to be alive. Okay, so that's today's intention. So let me just, like the Palo Santo just a little bit more. I love Palo Santo. I love like how it smells and everything. And yeah. So yeah, just clearing out any negative energy. I just pray that God will bring in the right people into today's life, and that God will speak through me. I always love for my space to be a high vibrational space on the internet, which I have some thoughts on that, like just the state of the internet lately. But yeah, I'd say that like lately I've been scrolling through. I'm on a break from TikTok, which I don't know how long that will last. I don't think I will ever personally get back on TikTok. I think I may just hire a social media manager for my company and they can have at it, because I saw a trend where people are putting sunglasses like on their waist to show how skinny they are, and it's this whole thing. And growing up, I remembered, seeing a lot of like ED, eating disorders, and like just like a lot of attention based on being skinny and just how that affected the mental and emotional well-being of young women. And I don't know, I just feel like it's very weird that a lot of these trends are glorifying parts of modern history that I thought we all kind of like collectively said, yeah, no, we don't vibe with that. But yeah, it's very interesting. Or even like when I'll scroll on YouTube, like let's say I'm like eating or something and I just like want to watch something that's not the Daily Show. Because like even the Daily Show shot, I'm like, I'm tired of hearing about Trump. I'm tired of like hearing about politics. But yeah, I'll scroll through YouTube and it's like the fall of this, the death of this, why this doesn't work anymore. And it's just so gloomy, gloomy, gloomy. And I'm just like, geez, Louise, where is the optimism? Where is I was actually watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, like the early seasons, like I think season 2, and it reminds me of when Sheree said, "What happened to hi, hello, my name is." Like that's kind of how I feel like when I'm scrolling on the internet now, and it's just so negative. Like, and that's why I've been feeling really, I guess like called intuitively to use my platform to spread light and joy. And because me, I'm in the studio every day, anyways, regardless of if I put the camera here, this is my life. This is like, even this mural behind me is called My Pleasure is My Power. And this is like what I do. Like, I consciously make the decision every day to say, I am going to be joyful. I am going to use my life force energy to create something beautiful. And yeah, like, I just felt like today's topic, a lust for life keeps us alive. I just felt like that was something that would be, or that would resonate with people. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know, let's wait for people to join the live. But before people start joining, I actually want to read you a snippet from my book, Force of Nature, before we get into reading the piece that I wrote, A Lust for Life Keeps Us Alive, which was inspired by Lana Del Rey. If you're a Lana Del Rey fan, you already know. The Lust for Life era, iconic, but I feel like it resonates with me more deeply now because of the external world and like what we're seeing happening in the world around us. Everything is so, it feels so bleak. And I feel like the powers that be want the masses, us, to feel despondent and to be in a consistent state of melancholy. And we have so many things at our, in front of us, like at our arsenal to really infuse joy into our lives. We have art, we have books, we have music, we have fashion. Like, when I get dressed, when I do my makeup, when I do my hair, when I like paint, when I do everything that consists of, being an artist, like everything that relates to me living an artist's life, it reminds me that, okay, I get to be happy. I get to create a life that is vibrant, and I get to desire that. I get to fall in love with life. And it's been something I've had to consciously dedicate myself to lately, because I think life is kind of like a relationship. If, let's say, we're women, and the 3D life is a man. Hi, Mama, welcome. We're talking about a lust for life keeps us alive, and like why that is. And I'm gonna read something that I wrote titled A Lust for Life Keeps Us Alive, that I wrote back in 2023, November actually, and I sent this out to my community in a newsletter, and I was just thinking about this piece of writing today. But before I start, I wanted to read from my book, Force of Nature, just a snippet from my author's note, because I feel like it's a good introduction to why I feel like it's important for more women, especially across the African diaspora, Black women, to fixate on infusing joy into our lives and not getting worn down by everything externally, like what Trump is doing, what Republicans are doing, no. I feel like, for the longest time, self-sacrifice has been pushed onto Black women in this country and African women on the continent, across the diaspora. And I think facilitating that desire, that lust for life, essentially, that joie de vivre, I think is really important, and like it can save our lives. Hi, Julia. Welcome to today's live. I'm happy to have you here. I hope that you subscribe. I go live every weekday at 3 p.m. from my art studio, and we just talk about things that have to do with divine feminine energy, art, fashion, spirituality, and all of that. And so I'm about to read from my book, Force of Nature, which actually I should probably pin it in the chat. So if you want to check it out, you can. So let me actually do that now before I start reading from it. And then we're going to read my other piece, A Lust for Life Keeps Us Alive. And yeah, okay, let me check into the chat again. Maha333 says, hello, sister. Hello, my brother in Christ. Hello. How are you? How are y'all doing? Like, I'm so happy to have y'all here. So I'm actually just, don't mind me, I'm literally just trying to put my book in the chat so that way y'all can check it out if you want to read along, like on Kindle or something. But yeah, I'm gonna read a little bit from my author's note because I think that pleasure, having that joie de vivre, decolonizing mind, body, and spirit so that we can facilitate a joyful and vibrant life, irrespective of what algorithms are pushing to us, irrespective of what like the government wants us to feel. Like that is the whole premise of my book, or one of the major themes in my book. And so I felt like reading from the introduction before we start would be, yeah, pretty pertinent to the conversation for today. Okay, so let me type this where you can check out the book. Okay. Oh. Alrighty, so I put it in the chat if you guys want to check it out. You can now. Okay, it's pinned. So let us begin. So there's a part in my book right here that I wanted to read. And okay, so this is from my author's note. And I said, we can learn so much about ourselves by paying attention to the subtle lessons from Mother Earth. She shows us that every aspect of our beings contributes to the beautiful ecosystem that is our mind. With her guidance, I have learned to embrace the enigmatic parts of myself and bask. Let me check into the chat. Hi, Guru. Hi, welcome. I'm just reading from my book real quick before we really get into today's topic, which is a lust for life. Keeps us alive. I'm happy to have you here, though. Okay, so I said in my book, with her guidance, I have learned to embrace the enigmatic parts of myself and bask in life's beautifully crafted chaos. Our earth never begs for permission to exist. She shows us every day what it means to be free, be it through tree stumps that join hands over time, or the bright smile of the moon and her many phases. Our earth reminds us that it is okay to change, and it is okay to grow, but most importantly, it is our natural state to exist freely. That is when we thrive. So I felt like that would be great. So Maha333 asked, did you create that background art? Yes, I did. This is my art studio at home. I do like it because I love it. And I actually, so the story behind the mural that I created in my art studio, which I literally want to create a mural for a local business so badly, like, and I haven't been able to find someone who wants a mural. So if you guys know anybody that would want a mural in their business, like, let them know about me. But basically, I created this mural behind me because one, I was creating a painting, and like when you're gessoing a canvas and it's unprimed, it can actually mess up the wall, which I didn't know. So the wall was looking kind of janky, and so I was like, okay, you know what? I want to paint something over it, and I want the message to be something that evokes joy and playfulness and pleasure and that joie de vivre that we've been talking about. And so I just basically drew like visualizations of me dancing because I like to twirl around and dance and do yoga and all of that. And so my mural is called My Pleasure is My Power. And I actually created it thinking like, you know what? When I start doing YouTube and stuff, I'll be able to film in front of it. And so yeah, I'm happy you noticed. Thank you. Okay, so a lust for life keeps us alive. I wrote a newsletter back in November 2023 with this title, and I'm going to read it to y'all, and we're just going to have some conversation. So definitely stick around because I think that life has been so bleak lately. Like, I think that the whole energy of the world, the vibration, the collective vibration, has been so heavy. And I think that when that is happening, it's important for us to still like say no. We have to resist. We have to cultivate that sense of like desire for life. And like, I know for me personally, sometimes lately it's been like really hard for me to get out of bed joyfully. And I just say, you know what, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have a great day. I pray. I invite the presence of the Lord into my life because I'm like, you know what, I'm alive. I need to be grateful. And I know it's easier said than done, but I felt like reading this today could probably, I don't know, hopefully share some light and love with y'all. Maha333 says, very good art. Thank you. Thanks. I love this mural. Like, I really love it. I'm thinking about maybe figuring out how to like photograph it, format it, and like sell it as a print on my website. But we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, so A Lust for Life Keeps Us Alive. I'm going to start reading it now. So stick around. Be sure to subscribe. I go live from my art studio every weekday at 3 p.m. Okay, so today reminded me of why Lana Del Rey's Lust for Life era is still iconic in my eyes. There's something so necessary about the way she engages with some of life's deepest emotions: love, agony, hope, defeat, revival. Why are these themes so pertinent now? Because sensuality is dying, and it is up to each of us to revive its power in our lives. Last week I wrote about how there's no room for half love. So now let's talk about what it means to truly fall in love with the life you are creating. The thing about infusing sensuality into life is that it requires you to slow down and actually feel the sensations of your existence. So one must get comfortable relishing what exists in the present moment while simultaneously savoring the ideas and infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Okay, so I go on to say, well, actually, let's pause real quick and like engage with this. In my Professor Pessoa mode, period. So basically, and also, I just want to say, I write my own stuff. AI does not write these tunes, because the other day I wrote something, I was like, whoa, this sounds so good and so poetic. And I was just like, AI could never, like, I've used AI before to like write like copy for stuff, and I'm just like, it's so mechanical and yeah. So I just wanted to share that, yeah, these are words coming from my own heart, from my soul. Like, I'm an author, and I wrote this book before AI was really a thing, so definitely check it out. And I love sharing my writing with the world. I'm on a mission to actually reach 1 million people with my book. So yeah, let's try to make that happen. But anyway, so I said here that the emotions of love, agony, hope, defeat, revival are pertinent now because sensuality is dying. Like, there is an attack on sensuality, and I think there's a huge difference, or not a huge difference, but there is a difference between sensuality and sexuality. And I think that, like, because we live in a patriarchal system, society conflates the two when everybody can lean into sensuality. And maybe not everybody at every age needs to, like, lean into sexuality, but sensuality, the ability to feel, the ability to be present and to be immersed in your sensations, like the ability to be tapped into your senses, that is a very real thing that I think people, I don't know, I think a lot of people are losing touch with sensuality because we are inundated with algorithmic programming. Like, people are so numb. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go on TikTok, which I mentioned earlier in the live, like, I'm on a break from TikTok for so many reasons, but like, you can go on TikTok and see someone getting unalived in one clip, scroll, see someone showing off their booty in one clip, scroll, see someone saying something inspirational, valuable, then see someone doing a get ready with me. And it's just like, it's so much. And I think that because we're thrown so much on social media, it kind of like keeps people from feeling too deeply, because that's not what the media wants us to do. And I think the reason why that is because people who feel very deeply are able to really make a change. Like, if you feel really deeply and you have a connection to the life that you're living, you're not like disassociated from it and you're not numbing yourself, you're gonna have the impetus to say, you know what, I'm gonna create something new, or I'm going to make a difference in this community because I care so much, and yeah. So I feel like sensuality is something very powerful that we can harness in our lives. And here I wrote that the thing about infusing sensuality into life is that it requires you to slow down and actually feel the sensations of your existence. So you must get comfortable relishing what exists in the present moment while simultaneously savoring the ideas and infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Oh wait, let me check into the chat. Maha333 says I also like art very much. Oh really? Great. Like if you do, if you're interested, you should totally check out my website. I actually sell my art on my company's website, www.AlaereLifestyle.com. So Alaere Lifestyle is just my channel's name.com. But I have so much more art. Like you see the framed pieces and everything. I have a lot of artwork on my website, and there's more to come in 2026, but I'm kind of like taking a chill pill on creating on canvas and like creating art collections for the rest of the year, because I want to translate some of what I already have into new products for y'all, and also into my fashion line and like wearable art. So just a tidbit for that. But basically what I was saying about like being able to simultaneously be in the present moment while savoring what your future can look like, I think it's something that, once again, algorithmic programming doesn't want us to do. It does not want us to be able to like be happy in the present while also believing that the future can be better. And I think like older generations definitely mastered that, in the sense of like when we look at, so I'm a part of this influencer collective for the National Center of Civil and Human Rights, and I went to their like private opening last week. This is in Atlanta, so if you're in Atlanta, definitely check this out. Like the museum is gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's right by the World of Coca-Cola and the Georgia Aquarium. And like as I was, looking at the exhibits and everything, I was just like, I had this overwhelming feeling of gratitude. Like, wow, there's so many people who were going through really shitty experiences as it pertains to civil rights and just the quality of life because of their color of their skin, their gender, everything. And they still said, you know what, we're gonna have a good time, we're gonna make art, we're gonna write books, we're gonna write poetry, we're gonna write essays, we're going to design clothing. Like, we're gonna make our life so beautiful, and we're still going to move forward and march towards a better existence for our future children and our future generations. And like, as someone who, I mean, we all are living in the energy that these people created for us. Like, if you're in the US, you're not having a good time simply because you are. Like, it's because there were people who, decided, hey, this life is worth living and my country is worth making better. And so I'm not getting into like politics or anything like that right now, but what I'm saying is that it's possible to just say, okay, you know what can I find that I love about in my present moment of my life while still hoping for a better future. Like, two things can coexist, and I think that algorithmic programming, the panoptic essence of modern society, does not want us to engage with that duality of human existence. And I think what I mean by that is that when I look online, at least, like, tell me what y'all think. Like, tell me in the chat if y'all experience this too. But like, when I look online, what I see is this push to be so inundated with doom and gloom, and like just be despondent and depressed because, oh, the world is not going to get better. Like, there's a lot of pessimism online, and I don't like it. Like, it's very weird. Like, I don't know if maybe it's because I'm deep down an optimist, and we talked about this yesterday, like, your subconscious mind really has the power to dictate what you experience in your outside realm. And so, like, I don't know if it's because I'm an optimist, and I'm also like pretty highly sensitive. I'm also like really empathetic and like intuitive. Like, I'm a deeply spiritual woman, okay? Like, and I think a lot of women artists, like creative women are. And that's why I created this channel for y'all. So stick around, subscribe. But yeah, like I said earlier in the live, I'll be scrolling and it's like the fall of this, the death of this, like even like something as simple as the Victoria's Secret fashion show recently, right? I remember I saw it, and then of course, there's all the think pieces afterwards. I'm so happy I'm not on TikTok because apparently there was a lot of vitriol being thrown at certain women, specifically black women who were in the show, but it's neither here nor there. I'm not talking about that today. But like literally I'm scrolling, like just trying to see like, oh, like, what was going on with the Victoria's Secret show. And I'm seeing, oh, the death of Victoria's Secret, why this is failing. I'm like, so where's the like optimism? Where's the positivity? Like, I thought y'all wanted a show that was like pretty and girly and all that stuff. And so that's why like I've really been thinking like it's important to consciously seek out the good in the present moment. Like if you want to have a lust for life, if you want to cultivate like that desire for your life, like that sensual existence that I think makes life worth living, you can't inundate yourself with all of this doom and gloom. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not saying be ignorant to what is happening in the world. I stay up to date with what is happening, but it gets to a point where it's like y'all are not saying anything new. Like, they're not saying anything new. That's why I haven't even been watching my Jon Stewart, my daily show as much as I used to. Like, because I go online and I'm like, I'm wanting to watch something to be entertained or to like, have a new perspective on something. And it's just pessimistic. It's just negative. And so that's why I really feel like it's important to simultaneously savor or relish what exists in the present moment while simultaneously savoring the ideas and infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Now let's go on. Okay, let's move on because there is more. There is more, but also quick plug. So "A Lust for Life Keeps Us Alive" is a quote, or it's an album by Lana Del Rey, and I love Lana Del Rey. I'm a huge fan because of so many reasons, but like I've always been a fan of hers. Like I think honestly since like 2013. But Vice has an article called "Is Lust for Life Lana Del Rey's Most Important Album Yet?" And they wrote in the subtitle, or like in the subtext, "The largely elusive artist has taken a journey of personal discovery and growth. Now is she finally telling us that change, both personal and political, comes from within." So that is the article on Vice. So if you like type in Vice, "Lust for Life, Lana Del Rey," definitely go check out that article. But I think this idea of whether or not personal and political change both come from within, I think is an interesting thing to look at. Especially, I mean, we're in a government shutdown right now. Like, this shit is weird. Like, this is not normal. Okay, what is happening in the world is not normal right now. Like, it's not normal. There's so many things happening. There's war, there's this, there's that. Then we have people making robots to replace humans when it's like human beings are suffering. Like, it's not normal. But I think that we can harness the power, that God consciousness that we have within. We can harness that to resist against the negativity that we're seeing, the proliferation of division and the proliferation of hate that we're seeing around the world. Like, we can genuinely facilitate that change and that transformation within and go out into the world and emanate that light outwards. Okay, so I go on to write in my article. If y'all are just joining in, hey, welcome. I'm Odemi Pasu. I'm an artist, fashion designer, author, all of that. And I'm reading something I wrote back in November 2023 that I felt could reach people and fill y'all with some love and some light. And it's an essay, well, it was a newsletter that I sent to my community called "A Lust for Life Keeps Us Alive," inspired by Lana Del Rey. So I'm gonna read the second half and then we'll talk about that part. So I wrote, "It's okay to come up for air. Just a reminder, because I get it. We all want to swiftly swim through life's storms, even when the current is pushing against us. Our rebellion against life's subtle redirections can be attributed to the essence of perseverance, a beautiful value to cultivate. However, it is not applicable in every situation. There are times when we find ourselves with the underlying ultimatum of self-destruction or surrender. But it is often pride that makes the decision for us. damn, I was writing. I'm sorry. Like sometimes when I read my writing, I'm like, oh, snap, 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 snaps. Love it. But anyways, so I'm gonna read that one more time. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. There are times when we find ourselves with the underlying ultimatum of self-destruction or surrender, but it is often pride that makes the decision for us. So I want to pause because that really stuck out to me right now, and I'm like, dang, like I'm kind of reading myself low key, low key. I wrote this back in 2023, and all of my writing reflects my own personal experiences and just also like what I notice in the world. And so I think this idea of like always wanting to push forward, always wanting to do, I think like is not normal, because I talk a lot about the divine feminine here. And divine feminine energy is the essence that kind of keeps us in harmony within, and also in harmony with the cyclical nature of Mother Earth. And so there are times where you genuinely have to slow down, like you have to pause. For women, we have that monthly, like there is a monthly time that we experience where we legit have to like pause, like we don't have as much energy. And I think just in general, like in Earth or in the world, we have those moments, and it's like if you keep trying to push, you're going to be met with the inertia that is telling you you need to pause and just be still and be present in this moment and feel what it is you're supposed to learn from it. And so that's why I said that like ultimatum of self-destruction or surrender is something that I think we navigate, especially like when we're in situations where it's just like we just want to get it over with. Like, and the best way to handle life's challenges is you have to go through it. Like, you can't go around it, you can't bypass it. And like, I'm talking to myself here. Like, I'm talking to myself too, because I have to remind myself as an artist, like, y'all see the art and y'all see the beautiful like results and everything, but the journey to get there is a lot of sweat and tears and like, oh my gosh, am I good enough? Am I good enough to do this? Am I, it's a lot of back and forth, and I had to go through that to get to the end of like, oh wow, this is the beautiful environment that I get to live in now, but this studio did not exist. I had to like go through certain things to get to that end result. And I think it's important to not like let pride keep us from stepping into that surrender, like that surrender to flow, So just wanted to pause and like deep that a little bit. But okay, so I said, but it is often pride that makes the decision for us. In these moments, cultivating a lust for life allows us to appreciate the art of surrender. A total release of control is grounded in an understanding of one's innate power to attract and emanate light, regardless of what path one chooses. Okay, so let's pause again. Because I was really like, when I was writing these newsletters, which I'm feeling like, dang, like, should I bring my newsletters back? But I guess like this is basically a live newsletter. So I hope you guys subscribe. I do go live every weekday at 3 p.m. But basically, like where I was saying, a total release of control is grounded in an understanding of one's innate power to attract and emanate light, regardless of what path one chooses. I feel like, yeah, like the art of surrender is very much so a thing. Like, it's a skill set. And have you ever been, like, let's pause. Have you ever been around those people? And not even just people. Let's say women, okay? Because I feel like this is a lifestyle channel primarily for women. Alaere means queen in my mom's native language, Ija, like queen lifestyle. There's so many facets to what a queen lifestyle looks like, but for me, I think that there's the tenets of intellectual curiosity, creative sovereignty, spiritual elevation, divine feminine power, and obviously style and aesthetics and beauty. So I think like having all of that can cultivate a queen lifestyle for you. But anyway, Sha, as I was saying, have you ever been around those women who it's like they don't want anybody to help them do anything? Like the idea of somebody of like surrendering control-ish to like, someone else to let them help them with something, they can't do it. And in the process of like fighting against help and like receiving help and receiving assistance and not allowing themselves to be a vessel that can receive help, they hurt themselves, they harm themselves, they burn out. And I feel like that is something that like we see because of, well, a lot of like the messaging that is pushed towards women in general preaches self-sacrifice, it preaches martyrdom, it preaches a lot of like alienating our own thoughts for the good of men and like for like, you know, the upliftment of men in the patriarchy. Like that's literally like what a lot of us are conditioned to do. Thank God my parents were not like that. Like my parents really encouraged me to be bright and bold and like expressive and things like that. I mean, but even that one, like they're still Nigerian. Like, you know, there's still the tradition and it's like it still had a cap. And you know, I think that like the wild woman archetype speaks to this, which we'll totally talk about that in another live session. But yeah, like I feel like the ability to release control and to surrender is the most powerful thing you can do in certain situations. And it can also keep you in harmony with the universe's rhythms and like with the natural rhythms and cycles of Mother Earth. So let's take November, for example. This is Q4. I don't know if you're in corporate. Sorry, the music is like getting loud. But I don't know if you're in corporate. But oh wait, I didn't even see any of the chats. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I literally looked to my camera, or not my camera. I looked to my laptop and I didn't even see that some of you guys said. Kaji Till Infinity says hello, gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I missed. I missed these. Like it usually updates it on my phone. Hi, Kaji. And then there's someone else. Isan La 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 says hi. Hi. And Maha333 says, by the way, you will soon reach 1,000 subscribers. Oh, thank you. I hope so. Like, that is the goal. That is literally the goal. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have y'all here. Like, I was just over here just chatting. Yeah, my B, y'all. I totally didn't even see, I did not see, like, any of the comments, my B. But, basically, yeah, I'm just saying that, like, sometimes you have to just chill. Like, so yeah, this is Q4. And I saw a post yesterday, this artist that we were in an exhibition together in the summer. So we follow each other. And he was just talking about like, oh, there's so much to do. November, so much to do. And I'm like, that's so interesting because I'm like not feeling that. Like, I feel like, yeah, there's a lot that I want to kind of finish right now and like kind of, put the icing on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I've been baking my cake. I'm like the queen of analogies. I've been baking my cake, my dream cake in my life, you know? And I'm like, okay, now I'm putting the icing, I'm putting the sprinkles. So next year I'm going to chop the cake that I've been baking this year. Are you guys understanding the analogy? And so it's like, this is not now the time to leave my cake and go and bake cookies and bake cupcakes and do everything. And like, so basically that's kind of how I interpreted his post. And I just think like, this is a time of reflection. I think that Scorpio season is really dope because it calls for intensity and passion and the ability to really like look and see how deeply you feel about what you've navigated so far. Like, it's like a time of reflection, but also like, I don't know, expression. Okay, so let's see. Maha says, by the way, do you know that the sweet dessert made from ash gourd is very famous in our India? No, I did not know that. I was unaware, but thank you for letting me know. But yeah, so I feel like November is not a time, it doesn't have to be a time where you just go hard. Like, it can be a time where you surrender to flow, and that can be really powerful because in that time, your intuition is able to speak to you and your intuition is able to guide you forward. Like, not everything in this life requires hustle, force. Sometimes we do have to be grounded in the fact that just being still and knowing, the Bible even says this, be still and know that I am God. Like, if you interpret that as you, be still and know that I am God, it's like, be still and know I am God consciousness. Like, when I stay still, especially if I go out into nature, I'm looking out my window right now, like, when I look at the trees and all of the beautiful autumn leaves that I see just all across the ground and everything, and it's just so gorgeous, and I'm like, the trees are staying still and knowing that, okay, yes, I'm letting certain things fall away from me right now, but I don't have to go and pick up these leaves and add them back to my branches. I don't have to like do anything but be still and be grounded and rooted in the knowing of who I am. And I feel like, as women, as people, yes, but as women, we definitely have to do that. Like, especially, across the diaspora, if you're a non-white woman right now, there's a lot of an attack on us. A lot of like African, Caribbean communities. I mean, I'm just seeing now that Trump wants to invade Nigeria. Like, why? I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just an example. Like, there's a lot of just nonsense happening, and I feel like it can be this pressure to feel like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. A lot of people are losing their jobs. I think the unemployment rate for Black women in the U.S. right now is like higher than it's been in a long time, and when I see this news, it's almost like, okay, but what is the solution? Like, nobody is saying, okay, this is what we're going to do about it. They want us, those of us who are having to navigate the systems, like I'm not going to say victims, because I don't view myself as a victim, and I don't want y'all to either, but those of us who are having to be on the receiving end, we now are the ones being charged to come up with the solutions to problems we didn't create. I'm going to tell you, don't do it. Don't come up with the solution. Surrender to flow and trust that everything is working out. Like, trust that everything is working out for you, and that when you cultivate that sense of like lust for life, essentially, which is happiness and like joy and the fruits of the spirit within, life has no choice but to conform to that. And this is spiritual law. It's the law of germination. When you sow those seeds of joy, life has no choice but to reflect it back. Okay. So Eric Murkison says, hi, welcome back. So today we're reading from a piece of writing that I wrote back in 2023 called A Lust for Life Keeps Us Alive. It's inspired by Lana Del Rey's one of her most iconic albums, because Norman Rockwell, that was a good one. Eric Murkison, you've come again. Thank you. Like, you're always complimenting my fingers, which I think is a fetish, but I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you rock, okay? But thank you. Okay, so let's continue reading. A total release of control is grounded in an understanding of one's innate power to attract and emanate light, regardless of what path one chooses. Letting life's current sweep you off your feet really can feel like a breath of fresh air after you get past the gasping part. So listen to the wind whisper sweet nothings in your ear during an afternoon daydream. Kiss the moon goodnight and let the sunrise seduce you with new beginnings every morning. And remember, it's easier to fall in love with life when you allow her to bloom without constraints. Okay, I love that. Oh my gosh, I promise I'm gonna upload this to my website's blog so that y'all can read it and meditate on it again. I recently recreated my entire website, switched from Squarespace to Shopify, so a lot of I haven't uploaded any of my old blogs. Like, I have so many of them, and I need help, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna get to your comment, Eric. But I'm gonna read that one more time because I really want it to sink in for you guys. Letting life's current sweep you off your feet really can feel like a breath of fresh air after you get past the gasping part. So listen to the wind whisper sweet nothings in your ear during an afternoon daydream. Kiss the moon goodnight and let the sunrise seduce you with new beginnings every morning. And remember, it's easier to fall in love with life when you allow her to bloom without constraints. Okay, so let me check into the chat. Actually, let me read it on my laptop because it's so tiny. Okay, I appreciate you allowing me to rock with your long, pretty fingers. Okay, Eric. Okay, so I don't even know how to respond, but Eric, go and buy my art. That's all I have to say. I use these long, pretty fingers to create artwork that I think you would love. So definitely check it out. Actually, let me put my artwork in the chat so y'all can know where to view it. My online art gallery where you can check out all of my artwork. Eric says, thanks for your generosity and patience with my hand fetish. Hey man, everybody has their own thing. Like, I mean, you don't ever really say anything bad. It's just, I find it interesting. Like, I've never encountered that before, but okay, so, but no, seriously though, you should shop my art because these hands created a lot of beautiful artwork that I believe can raise the vibration of your home. So I'm going to put it here. Shop my art here. Yay! Okay, I'm gonna also pin it. I originally pinned the link to my book, Force of Nature, here. The Amazon link, but I'm gonna actually go ahead and pin my artwork where you can shop the art. Okay. So yeah, I feel like it goes back to the conversation about sensuality and like the attack, the war on sensuality and the war on like feelings and sensitivity and feeling deeply and just, I don't know, like being connected to earth, you know, being connected to the natural rhythms of life. And I'm just like, does everybody need to watch Pocahontas again or something? Like, I don't know, like what is going on in the world? Like the zeitgeist, the cultural zeitgeist is giving doom and gloom. Like, where is the optimism? Like, where is the hope? Where is the bright light that, like, you know, we all have exposure to that, but I just feel like there's an attack on like being able to say, you know what, I just want to stand still and feel the wind kiss me, and I want to just relish in a sunset and like stay up and watch the sunrise or something. Like, these are things that I think society conditions us to believe are not worth doing. Like, society tells us, oh, it's a waste of time to just go and like sit and meditate outside, but it's not. It is not a waste of time. It is actually integral to you having the most elevated human experience that you can have, like spiritually and energetically. I think that the best way to like fall back in love with life is to surrender to its flow. So, okay, I'm seeing some stuff in the chat. Let's check in. Okay, Maha333 says, can I call you a Barbie doll? As you look exactly like that to me. Yes, you can. I used to, so when I first started, it's actually funny, when I started my business, or like when I left corporate and right before I registered my company, this was like 2023, like early 2023, Q1. I was like, you know what, let me go be a hostess at like an upscale steakhouse. And I remember celebrities would always come and stuff. And so I was like, yeah, this could be good. This could be a good way to like get exposure. And literally they would always call me Barbie. Like there was another waiter who was always like, you look like a Barbie. I'm just gonna call you Barbie because low-key I can't remember your name. And like there's like other people who call me that too. That's so funny. So I will take it. I will take it. It's a compliment to me. Eric Markison says, your artwork is so round and feminine. Thank you. Yeah, I do create work that focuses on divine feminine energy. I mean, like the mural behind me, it's all about pleasure and play, which ties into like what I'm talking about. Your pleasure is your superpower. Like, I'm getting mad black right here. Like, I gotta clap for the emphasis. Like, your pleasure is truly your power. It really is. And if you think about it, the small pleasures of life, the sweet nothings of life, like I don't know, like when I drive sometimes and I just look at the sky and I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful. Like, what? This is gorgeous. I can't believe like I didn't have to do anything to experience the beauty of the sky. Like, and like I said, I'm an artist, so maybe that's why like I think like that. But I do think if more people were able to allow themselves the stillness to really relish in the beauty of life, we wouldn't see so many people going through deep depression and melancholy and despair and despondence. And like I get it. Like I'm not like this super duper, oh my gosh, I'm happy every single day. Even today, I woke up, I was like, oh, I'm so tired. I felt like, because I had a knee injury and I'm recovering still. It's been a couple of months, but like, you know, some days are better than others. And I was like, man, like I don't even want to get up today. But then I was like, no, I'm actually really lucky. Like I'm actually really lucky. Like I'm really blessed that I get to like do this. Like this is my job. Like talking to y'all, this is my job. Like this is legit my job. Like sharing my writing, sharing my art with the world. Like that's what I was created to do. And like I think find something in your life that you're like, oh my gosh, I get to do this. Like I think if you can find just even one thing in your life, like I get to do this or I get to experience this. And every day when you wake up, if you're not feeling the whole lust for life thing, like when you wake up, just remember that one thing, like, oh, I get to eat my favorite waffles today, yay. Or I get to like work from home today, even if it's a job you hate. We've all been there, but I get to work from home today. Or like I get to insert. But yeah, like I mean, it's all about presence and like being present in the moment. And you know, I think you can do that while also still thinking about the future. And I don't think that thinking about the future has to be a source of depression either. Like I think, you know, when I think about it, a lust for life, if you look at life as like a man, like let's say you're a woman, right? And you're trying to learn how to surrender to flow. You know how in relationships, in heterosexual straight relationships I should say, there is that polarity of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And like let's say the world, like let's say the 3D is a man, like let's say the 3D is like the masculine, the structure, like you have to mold it, and you know it's like it's more rigid, it's more, it's not, it's less, you know, flowy. And then the energy that we have, like that God consciousness, that which we can't see but we can only feel, that is the feminine, right? Let's say that you are trying to fall in love with your life, or you're trying to change certain things in your life, but you just keep nagging it. You just keep saying, this sucks. This is not doing this. If you are in a relationship and you were talking to a man like that, do you think he would change? Do you think it would change if you say, oh, you're always sucking, you're always not listening, you're always doing this, you're always doing that? Like, the man would not change. And same with life. Like, the 3D is not going to change if you just keep coming at it with, like, complaints. But if you look at, like, in a relationship and you want something that your partner is doing, you're like, okay, I'm not really feeling this. And it's something that they can change. And if you brought it to their attention, they would be happy to improve. You would probably, you know, set up a nice dinner and say, you know what, honey, my love, let's talk. How are you? You know, maybe they've been going through something that has caused them to be even acting up or whatever. But you would approach it differently. Like you would approach it by like setting the scene of like a high vibrational moment. And then after like sharing your appreciation, if this is a healthy relationship, you would say, hey, you know, something's on my mind. Like, I would really be happier if XYZ, XYZ, or I'd be really happier in this relationship if you did XYZ. I think we can experience life in the same way as we do in a healthy relationship. Like, if you look at life and you're like, man, like, I'm not really vibing with this, but you're the curator of your life. You're the creator of your life. You're the divine God consciousness person who is orchestrating this in the physical realm. And God is moving through you to do that. Like we are all just these physical expressions of God, essentially. Like every living thing is an expression of God. The earth, like the trees, the birds, the animals, us, all of us. And so if you look at life and you're like, you know what? I'm not liking this, but I'm going to pause and appreciate. I'm going to pause and appreciate first. And then in that stillness, in that pause of appreciation, I'm going to really express my desires to earth. I'm going to, open up my heart to inspiration and say, you know what? I may not be happy with, say for an example, because the economy is right now. I'm not happy with my financial situation. Okay, fine. But I'm happy that I don't have to pay for oxygen. I'm happy that I don't have to pay to look at trees. I'm happy that I don't have to pay to touch grass. Like, I get to like experience that. And then, as you're in that appreciation, it can allow you to really also like see the opportunities already in front of you to get what it is that you want and what you desire, which is the same thing in a relationship. Like, when you pause and appreciate the good that is already in the relationship with your partner, you can like say, okay, you know what? Actually, this person is not a horrible person. Like, there's opportunity for this to get better and like, yeah, like to move forward. So I just feel like, like I said, it's easier to fall in love with life when you allow her to bloom without constraints. And like when you don't put all of these rules, like it has to be just exactly like this, or it has to be, don't even get me started on the spirit of comparison because of social media. Like, oh, my life is not like this person, so it's not good. Like, get rid of that thinking. Like, I'm not even trying to tell you what to do, but that is one thing I will tell you to do. Like, if you want to cultivate a lust for life, like, comparison is just not worth it. Okay, so let's check in. Eric Markuson says, what is your ring size? That's an interesting question. Why are you trying to buy me a ring? Do you know an eligible bachelor? What an interesting question. What is my ring size? I don't know, like 7 or something. I don't know. I think it's 7. Actually, I did get my ring measured at the mall the other day. I really don't remember. I think it's 7. Okay. Your hand gestures demand my attention. Okay, Maha says D apki art bese bahut akchi hai. I know you just complimented me. I just don't know what you said. Can you say it in English, please? I want to like know what you said. But I think it was a compliment, so I'm gonna say thank you. But yeah, like I really hope that you guys enjoyed today. We're about to like close out in a moment here very shortly. But yeah, a lust for life keeps us alive. Like, I really just wanted this to be a spirited reminder that you get to enjoy life. Yeah, you do. I don't care what BBC News is saying, what CNN, CBC, CNBC, Fox News. I don't care. I don't give a what they are saying. Okay, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to live my life with joy. I'm going to be optimistic. And I think that is the most potent resistance that we have as humans in a society that wants to subjugate us under domination and control and just despair. I don't know why people think that hate and negativity sells, but I reject pessimistic things in my life, okay? And I feel like cultivating what's the word I'm looking for? A routine of optimism and gratitude can definitely help you keep that lust for life, because when you have a desire for life, when you have a desire for just life, like, being able to fall in love with life, it makes even the mundane and even the like sucky things feel like, oh, you're just en route to better. It's kind of like if your life is a movie. I like to treat my life like a movie. And so like sometimes I like zoom out. I have a very active imagination, if you can't tell, like hence the art. But I'll like zoom out and I'm like, okay, if I were a protagonist in this movie and I was watching this movie, like I'm watching me and I'm the protagonist, I'm watching, and she's going through this really sucky time. Like, I remember there's times I've gone through where, child, I did not know how I would make it through. But I have to be really positive, because if you're not positive, you just stay stuck in that moment, And So I'm just reading what Maha333 says. Sorry, I wrote it in Hindi. What I meant was that your art is very good, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've never read Hindi before. Did I pronounce that right? Di apki art bese bahut achhi hai. Did I say that right? But thank you. And I'm so happy that you're tuning in from India. Like, I know it's really late over there, but I hope you're enjoying. Tell your friends, tell your family if you like, if you like my channel, for them to tune in. Because this is a high vibrational space, okay? I want you guys to be happy. Like, there's some channels I go on, like, and I treat myself kind of like an anthropologist, a cultural anthropologist, because there's some things like I genuinely am like, I don't understand this phenomenon. So I'm gonna watch this video and see, because obviously this person did research and they're making a video about it. And I'll just leave the video feeling very like drained, like they harvested my energy and my attention for no reason. And I feel like you guys are giving me the greatest gift of your attention and your presence, and I really value it, and I'm so grateful. Like, I don't even care about the numbers really. Like, I just care about the fact that there's different souls right here. Like, we're here living our lives together and just being able to like talk about high vibrational stuff and how to fall deeper in love with life. And I think that matters. Like, I think the world needs more of that. And yeah. So I'm going to publish this blog eventually. Don't worry, before the end of 2025, everything on my website will be updated. It's just like switching hosts is a lot. But I do have a lot of blogs, so I am going to keep reading them probably for the rest of this week. You can expect me to kind of have like more sit down conversations like this. I know the last month I really focused on live art and live painting, but I'm intuitive, like I said, and my intuition is telling me that this is what is needed in this community right now, and y'all still get to experience my artwork, which is great. But also, like, I will come back and do more what's it called, lookbooks of my wearable art. So don't worry. Like, I'll show you guys before I leave. This is a pair of jeans that I painted, and I wore them out, and it just felt really awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I got compliments and stuff, but also like I was wearing this really cute black fit, some black boots. It was a cute fit, and I felt like being able to walk out with this colorful artwork and this depiction of a beautiful African queen, natural goddess. It made me feel so happy. And I feel like, that's why I create artwork and fashion and write books that can make you happy. So I actually want to read you something that I wrote yesterday. It was honestly an IG caption. So if you want to also follow Alaere Lifestyle on Instagram, feel free to do so. It's the same name. But these are we're closing out right now. So I just want to share a few additional things with y'all. But it made me think of my description of my artwork and what I do. And I wrote that the subliminal messages infused in my artwork embody a deep surrender to the divine feminine flow that guides the harmony of the universe. Simultaneously, these visual representations of African womanhood emanate the richness of that unique experience, especially from a diasporic experience or perspective. They invite spectators to bask in the regality of the decolonized divine feminine, a soft revolution on canvas. It is our belief, meaning Alaere Lifestyle, us, this company, all of this. It is my belief that the love and light we embody through the beauty of art, literature, and divine expression is exactly what humanity needs to save us from the darkest parts of ourselves. Beauty for beauty's sake is valuable, but beauty that speaks to the soul is priceless. So invite this energy into your space and watch your world transform. So that's really what I do with my artwork. Let me see if I have artwork here that I can show y'all. Let me just pick the tiniest one. But yeah, I have pieces like this. This depicts love and intimacy and expression. And yeah, like I have a lot of romantic artwork that helps you fall in love with life, because I kid y'all not, when I started surrounding myself with my artwork and these colors and these bright colors, my energy changed. My energy genuinely transformed. And I think it all has to do with, like what I said, the subliminal messages that I put into my artwork are infused with, what exactly did I say? Infused with an embodiment of a deep surrender to the flow that guides the harmony of the universe, that divine feminine flow. Like, I think that the divine feminine is not weak. She is powerful. She is resistant. She can be soft, but she can also be a tsunami. She can also be a hurricane. Like, she can also be a wild woman. And I think that harnessing that divine feminine flow within can help us to be more connected to the world around us and to help us fall deeper in love with the life that we've been blessed to live. So, yeah, I feel like today we had a really great conversation. I'm so grateful for y'all. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I always ask God before I start to like speak through me and bring more positivity. And so I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for all of us. And I just pray that God will continue to like fill us with that love and light that we can emanate outwards, because we are chosen. We are cities set upon a hill. Okay. Like, we get to be vessels of love and light. Like, I actually, like, maybe I should show it to you guys. I have, an artwork called Harvesters of Love and Light. But Megan Schubert, hi, says, Jesus loves all of you and will give you life and peace. Amen. Yes, Jesus does. Okay, let me show you guys my artwork that I have. Harvesters of Love and Light. Because this is truly what we are. So I have this piece, Harvesters of Love and Light, and it just shows that we are these vessels that get to have that divine love and light pour into us. And also, check out the fit. I feel like, I asked my mom, I was like, what is the name of the Hausa wives? Because my Hausa auntie used to always call me this. I think it's called Amaria. I feel it. I love it. I don't know the difference between a muumuu and a boo-boo. I think this is a boo-boo. But I love it. I just feel like an African queen. And yeah, so shout out to the fit. But yeah, like, I think that, you know, a lust for life keeps us alive, having that desire, that joie de vivre, that, ooh, I get to fall in love with this. And even when it feels like things are falling apart, because I've had my own series of just things feeling like they're crumbling and I have to start all over. I think that a way that I'm able to transform my perspective on that and stay in a state of gratitude and hope and just keep my vibration aligned with my higher self and that which I want to experience in this lifetime. A way that I go about thinking about it is that sometimes things have to break down for something new and better to arise. It's kind of like the analogy of the trees. Like, when I look at trees, I think they teach me so much about life, because when the leaves are time to, when it's time for the leaves to fall, when it's time for things to like fall off of trees, the branches are not scrambling trying to pick up the dead leaves. They just let it go. And I think sometimes in life you have to just let things go. So I have another essay or article, newsletter type of thing. It was a blog article that I wrote that, I know, like I said, I'm going to put all of my blogs back on my new website, but I need time. Give me some time. But yeah, like, I feel like sometimes you have to just master the art of letting go. And when you let go of those expectations and those constraints and those things that don't really need to go with you into the elevated version of your life and your version of yourself, that higher self, like, when you let go of that and with ease and you just surrender to flow and you're like, God, just take me higher, lift me higher, I think it can really make life more enjoyable, because we don't have to do everything. Like, we can only do so much, but we're still spiritual beings at the end of the day, and there's still spiritual guidance, a spiritual essence and energy, that God consciousness that guides us forward. So let me check into the chat. Maha333 says, Bahut equals mining, Bari Achi equals mining. Good, that is very good, nice. Okay, you're teaching me some Hindi right now. Thank you. Maha says, wow, very, very good. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm trying my best, but I will leave y'all with something from my book. And I'm going to read y'all a poem from Force of Nature. I wrote this book back in 2021. Yeah, published in 2021. I will be publishing my second book in 2026. This book is poetry. So if you like Nikki Giovanni, if you're a fan of like Wole Soyinka, E.E. Cummings, like that type of poetry, you will totally vibe with Force of Nature by Odemi Pesu. C'est moi, that is me. And yeah, I encourage you to check it out on Amazon. Waterstones if you're in Europe, Booktopia if you're in Australia. Where else? Like a lot of indie bookstores all across the US. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read y'all a poem from my Wind chapter. And actually, I'm going to read y'all the introduction to Wind first and then read the poem, and we will close out for today. But I think we had a really great conversation. Okay, so I said here in the introduction to Wind, which is the Wind chapter is the last chapter in my book, and it is that which carries us is the subtitle. Excuse me. Gosh, so much chatting. Okay, so the introduction says, wind is powerful in the way it transports us to new discoveries and imaginings of who we can become, what we can do, how we can evolve. The wind kisses our backs and tells us to take a step forward, even when we believe ourselves to be unready to move on. We must become the wind on our backs and carry ourselves to that which we desire, closing our eyes and surrendering to the motion of the universe. Releasing control is how we learn to fly. So there's that divine feminine principle, the art of surrender. Okay, so the poem that I wanted to read today is called And the World Keeps Turning. And I felt like it would be a really good closing poem to, end today's live with. And I'm just really happy that, we were able to chat about cultivating a lust for life and having that optimistic outlook and that desire and some of the energetic principles that go into that. We will continue to have these conversations on this channel, and yeah, we'll continue to just share some of those lessons that I've been learning, especially as an artist. Like being an artist full time, it's a lot of that surrender. So I'm just happy to share some of my experience. But anyways, this poem is called And the World Keeps Turning in my book, Force of Nature. I am hoping to get to 1 million readers soon and very soon. I don't know. I feel like I'll just wake up one day and I'll just be like, oh my God, I'm a best-selling author. But okay, so I'm going to read it. And I wrote, my saving grace is the manner with which I romanticize every minuscule aspect of this blessing we call life. Before my soul transcends over this unpredictable arc into dimensions unknown, I have to pause each day, sometimes to relish the smell of rain that slowly approaches, at times to hear the melody of children laughing on the playground while I sit on a nearby bench, and reminisce of a time I was free to run and fall without the worries of adulthood plaguing my mind. I still like to roll a J and look up at the night sky. It is hard to feel small when I look at the stars or the jolting glow of a full moon. Some feel intimidated by the wonders of this earth, but I love to feel them in my bones and honor the parts of my body that grow from earth's vines. I like to imagine my anxious bow of sweat as a sweet nectar pulsating through living fruit. I am sweet and ripe with dreams and ideas for how to enjoy my time here fully. And as I look at trees and say hi to leaves and smell flowers that die and come back to life, I feel full to the brim. with gratitude for an earth that kisses me goodnight and hugs me good morning. She doesn't have to do so, but should my body decompose into her soils one day, I know she will keep my spirit alive through happy leaves and singing bees, humming about, spreading my sweet nectar around and around. I really love that poem. I think it just reminds me of like, wow, life is beautiful. That's really it. Life is beautiful. Even those small moments where it's like, wow, this feels very mundane. We get to pause and relish in that. And we don't have to beg the sun to wake us up. We don't have to beg the moon to kiss us goodnight. It just does. And there's so many things that are beyond our control that work in our favor. And it goes back to what I was kind of saying yesterday. Believing that everything always works out for you is probably my last tip for how to maintain a less for life, which will keep you alive and also keep you happy and just really boisterous about the life that you get to have and this existence that we get to have. Okay, so yeah, I am really happy with today's chat. I love you guys so much. I'm going to close out with more Palo Santo. I love how Palo Santo smells, and I just also feel like it just cleanses the air and stuff. And so, yeah, I just feel like, as I send y'all off to the rest of your day, I just pray that the rest of your day, the rest of your week goes amazing, and you remember how blessed you are to be alive, and that no negativity, no weapon formed or fashioned against you shall prosper. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. But yeah, I love you guys. I will be back on live tomorrow at 3 p.m., which I do every weekday from my art studio. And tomorrow we'll probably be engaging with a different piece of writing for me. We will see what that is. I think it might be Mastering the Art of Letting Go, or There's No Room for Half Love. I'm going to decide. I'll sleep on it. But yeah, I'm really happy to have y'all here. Be sure to subscribe. If you love high vibrational conversations and discourse around divine feminine energy, art, fashion, African spirituality, and honestly decolonization of mind, body, and spirit, then this is the place for you. And yeah, I love y'all. Hi, Mama. Thank you for the hearts. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you guys so much. All right. I will chat with y'all tomorrow. Bye.